Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, Jojo. Now, there's been some debate going on, and I can tell that there are a few YouTubers, there are a few people who are reviewing this series. Some are saying they're saying that the anime obviously isn't. It's not up to par. Some people feel that they're fucking skipping shit. It's too fast. I will say me personally, who've been reading this series. I've been reading from the beginning all the way up to where we are now, and there are some things that I will honestly say there is no fucking way they're gonna show all of it. It is like it's just a matter of saying that a manga. I will tell everyone this right now. The manga is way better than the anime. There's no question. That's bona fide. That's like a fact. The manga is so fucking good. But some people like to see shit animated. Some people want to see the anime. And I've read a good majority of it. I'm still on part 1. Going to be almost finished with part 1 though. I'm up to like volume 5. So I only have like about 2 volumes left to go through. But I just want to briefly state that in the beginning of this video because there have been talks about it, and the manga is better than the anime. It's the truth. But that's not to say that the anime is bad. This is a still good fucking show. This is a still good fucking show. Now, last week you saw how I said, oh, they skipped a few things. They skipped, here and there. This time around, this episode, they were very good. It was very solid. And you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a sweater. It's fucking cold up here. It's cold, and I said wear a sweater. It's chilly like a motherfucker. But this series is still good. The anime is still good. Now, more or less what happened in this episode, episode 5, which was called Dark Nights? Black Nights. I believe it was called Black Nights. Let me just quickly find out briefly if I get any deeper into things. But it's still a good show. It's still a good fucking show. There is no reason to say, oh, it's not good, because they do this and that and this and that. It's still a good fucking show. Hands down. Oh, I can't read it. But yeah, this one I believe was called Black Nights. Yeah, Black Nights. In this episode, more or less, what has transpired is trying to think the guys' names. Not listed. The more or less thing that went on in this episode is we had Jonathan, Joestar. We had Speedwagon. We had obviously Zeppeli. Zeppeli, man, he's fucking awesome, man. Just Zeppeli for the motherfucking win. He's so fucking cool. I love Zeppeli. And this was probably pretty much the events of when they first go into the town, the village, of the knights. When they first show up and they encounter this kid, anyone who's read the manga knows what I'm talking about. They encounter this kid who stole. They edited one thing out when the kid shows his rear end, I think, to them. But like, who else did that? And the kid steals their money. And we go from those events to when Dio shows up. Dio. Motherfucker. This guy was beast. He's just standing there and shit. It was nighttime, the moon was out. I was like, come on, this dude fucking dead. zombies coming out of the fucking ground. Oh man, I was boss. Then he reveals Dio, and pretty much what happened. You know what happens in this. You got Zeppeli going in with the ripple attacks, ripple technique, overdrive. He seems to overthrow Dio, but Dio comes back with freezing of the blood. That was done actually pretty fucking well, I have to say. I like that scene. It looked like he froze, his hand froze Dio, and then Zeppeli's arm was like dried up and was like frozen dry. And I was like, wow, that was awesome. And we went from that scene to, you know, and Jojo came into the fight as well, but he didn't do much. Both their arms were pretty much useless. And then, and of course you got the kanji going on and everything. It was very action-packed shit. And then there was the Dio said enough, all of it, and he brought forth, I apologize if let me look up their names. I apologize. The two warriors, the two knights, dead knights, who were back in the 16th century, were the, knights of Mary Stuart. Let me just check their names, because that I got a little confused about, because the names, I might, Bardus, I think it's Bardus. I have to check that, because let me just check that quick. That's one thing got a little, got a little iffy on. Let's see if I can find those names. Yeah, one was Bruford. It was Bruford. And Tarkus. Tarkus. Bruford and Tarkus. So, Bruford and Tarkus came out, and these guys were fucking beast as hell. The flashback they showed of what happened back in the 16th century with Queen Elizabeth and Mary Stuart, and how, they were fooled and her head was there. Obviously, they couldn't show. See, this is the thing about. Now, the only thing I'm wondering. This was a good episode. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5. Almost a 5. This was a good episode. But the thing is that I'm wondering why it is that they're censoring this. Because when I think about it, like, there have been a lot of bloody animes, and they've never censored anything. And all of a sudden, now they're censoring stuff. Violence. Now, it still was a good episode. They showed her head, Mary Stuart's head, and they're like, they get pissed off. Bruford, get pissed off. Tarkus and Bruford, and it was like, wow. They got really pissed off and really intense. And like they would say, like, Tarkus broke the axes. That was insane. Broke the axe that they were trying to kill him with, because they were going to be executed. And Bruford used his hair to kill a guy who hurt a guy's leg. It's like the executioner. And it was just so crazy. And obviously, like I said, this was from when they first arrived, this episode, all the way to when Jojo starts fighting Bruford in the underwater. That was awesome. They did that very good. I have to say, they did that fucking awesome. That fucking awesome. Did that part. So you have Jojo first, before he goes in the water, he uses Scarlet Overdrive on his arm. That was awesome. And also we had Speedwagon using his body heat to heal Zeppeli. So that was that as well. And Jojo, instead of going out of the water, he went down to the bottom of the water to find gaps of air that were, because it was a coal mine, so there were gaps of air in between, you know, from cave-ins in the mine, and he lifted this rock up, and there's air come out, and he sucks the air in, and he's able to use that and attack Bruford with the blue overdrive, and that was insane. And I believe that's where it ends. Yeah, it ends right there. And it ends there. And I think next week we're going to get further into it. You know, the whole thing with them fighting, when he's fighting Bruford, Jojo, Jonathan. And we're going to also have them dealing with Tarkus as well. Because I read the manga, I read the continuing of, like I said, I'm on 2 volume 5 now of the beginning, and just you guys are in for it coming up. And I know there's gonna be some censorship. There's definitely gonna be some censorship. There's a lot of violence. Oh shit, man, this is crazy. Some crazy violence, man. I even read the part. I don't want to spoil. Don't want to spoil for you guys. Don't want to spoil for it. But it's going to get really insane coming up with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it was, and I forgot to mention Paco, this little kid they find as well. But this was a good episode. I liked how they did it. I liked the action sequences. They were pretty fucking boss. Like I said, manga's better. The manga is so much better. It's hands down. Hands down. And you gotta get that with shows like this. I mean, I think. I mean, this is a great anime. It's good. It's good. But the manga is so much better. So what I'm hoping, this is the way I figure it. I'm hoping people who watch the anime, they will be curious about it. Like, wow. And they will get, curiosity will come to them to get into the manga. You guys have got to get into the manga. You have to. It's fantastic. I'm already close to part 2. And I'm already excited for part 2. Part 2 is going to be so amazing when I get into that shit. And I haven't read it yet, so I know that's going to get really good. So, get into the show, read the manga. You guys will not be disappointed. This was a good episode, a lot better than last week, like I said. And Jojo, man. Jojo and Zeppeli for the motherfucking win. Those two. I love Zeppeli, man. He's just... Later you find out something about Zeppeli. Not going to spoil anything for you. You guys have to watch and see. So, 4 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good episode, JoJo. It's to be expected. This show's getting good. It's really good. But like I said, to clear the air, the manga's better. The manga is better. Manga is uncensored. Manga, you see everything. So people, read the manga. I can't say any more than that. So, that's all I can really say for you guys. So, this has been Banka 922. Good episode of JoJo. I want to see more. I know you guys want to see more. Violence is going to get intense. Shit's going to hit the fan. JoJo and Zeppeli for the motherfucking win. I'll see you guys later. And Dio is evil as shit, as usual.